Welcome back to Helmet Podcast, episode number 16. Doing it remote again because I've had a tragic day. I'm not even going to get into it, but my day's been awful. But we move. And we start out in college football where we just finished up rivalry week. And, we'll start at one place and one place only. We'll start it in Ann Arbor. We'll let Luke take it away for that big day for the Buckeyes.
Finally, Ryan Day exercises his demon of Michigan. Yeah, Bryce Underwood did not look good, but we have the number one defense in the nation, and it wasn't. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. The first quarter, I was a little scared. I was like, "Oh God, it's gonna happen again," because
After that pick.
yeah, because so they start with a field goal, and I was like, "All right, whatever." They just had the ball first. We'll get it, and then I had to turn it off. So I was driving. And I had to stop and get gas, so I turned it off. And when I got back in my car, they had the ball again. And I was like, "Oh God!" And I found out that he threw a pick. But after the first quarter, it was all Ohio State. Brutus the Buckeye spent more time in the end zone than Michigan did. And it was
He was cracking me up. That he spelt did Ohio, dotted the I, crossed out the M on Michigan. That was funny.
It was just a great game, and it's exactly what we wanted to see. Ohio State fans wanted to see. And then you had the Michigan players defending their midfield logo as if the Ohio State player. There's a couple players that had a flag, but Ryan Day told them to get back in the locker room after they did the whole flag plant fiasco last year. But yeah, it's what we wanted to see. I have a little concerns because I heard Brian Hartline is getting interviews for head coaching, which I really wanted to stay because he's our wide receiver guy. And I feel like Chris Henry Jr. might flip if he gets hired somewhere else. It's exactly what we wanted to see. Hopefully, we can just repeat this for years to come.
Yeah, JB, our teacher, actually just sent me something that apparently Brian Hartline is expected to become the head coach at South Florida. Is that 2 years in a row that you guys have had your offensive coordinators poached? Or
yeah, because it was Chip Kelly last year.
Yeah, Chip Kelly.
The NFL in which he sucked. So Brian Hartline, he was our wide receivers coach for a while, and for the entire wide receiver U when we had Ibuka and Wilson, Marvin Harrison, Smith and Jigba, and we had Chris Henry Jr. that just committed. But I doubt he flips to South Florida just because of Brian Hartline.
He won't flip to South Florida, but he could decide to go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's a tough loss. Brian Hartline was a great coach for a while with us. That's going to be tough to recover from. It's Ohio State, so we're going to hire somebody.
Yeah, they'll make a good hire, I'm sure. But yeah, that Michigan defending the M. It's like the Buckeyes were running all over it for 60 minutes. Bo Jackson
played more defense then than they did all game.
Yeah, Bo Jackson was running down the field on those boys.
Yeah, he looked great.
They kind of did what they wanted to do last year, just run it down their throats, prove that they're a dominant team. So, but I was very nervous after the first quarter.
Yeah,
after the pick, I was like, "Oh, this might not be good for Ohio State." But once they got their first touchdown, I kind of knew. Michigan did the same thing as I'll talk about it in a second. That Nebraska-Iowa happened where they just kicked too many field goals down in the red zone.
Yeah,
and you can't do that against Ohio State. Against Northwestern or Maryland, that's okay. Yeah. But against Ohio State, if you can't convert red zone drives into touchdowns, you're sadly never going to win. But it does. I am happy that Ohio State won because now we get Ohio State Indiana in the Big Ten championship.
Big Ten championship. That's going to be a great game. I'm excited for that.
Other than the ACC championship, it's really the only one that matters because the Big 12 kind of matters because BYU can win, or if they win, they're automatically in, and Texas Tech would most likely stay in. Whereas, if Texas Tech wins, it probably keeps BYU out somehow after looking at the rankings last night, which is stupid. Don't know how BYU's not in over Notre Dame and Miami, especially Miami.
especially Miami. Yeah.
Yeah,
And Miami beat Notre Dame even. So
yeah, and Notre Dame has their best win is USC,
yeah,
and that's like their only good win.
because they
So
lost to A&M and
yeah,
Miami. So like,
yeah, and also the I won't. We actually, yeah, we could talk about this game real quickly. Texas A&M and Texas, the
Texas
other
A&M looked like bad.
garbage. Um, the Texas fans who are saying that they should be in the playoff with 3 losses is ridiculous.
Yeah, you think so?
And Steve Sarkisian coming out and being like, "Oh, well, we scheduled Ohio State." It's like, okay, take out the Ohio State game, right? You lost to Florida, who's 4-8.
Yeah.
Like that,
That's the bad loss is Florida because
yeah,
if
and
they
they got blown out by Georgia.
let's say if their only 2 losses were Ohio State and Georgia, who have been
They're
in the
in.
top 5 of the rankings all year, you could say okay maybe, but you lost like 3-8 Florida. Like you can't do that. You can't allow that.
Yeah, that they love to talk like they keep on talking about well we played Ohio State and now no one's going to schedule tough non-conference games, which is true. No one's going to ever schedule a tough non-conference game unless it's a rivalry like Georgia Tech, Iowa State, something like that. It's never go. I think Bama already unloaded their schedule. I saw that the other day that they were supposed to play. I can't remember who it was, but then they dropped them, and now they're playing like UTSA and ECU versus like they're supposed to play someone decent.
Mm.
It does mean that those games are going to be pointless, but I think with these mega conferences, every team needs to play 9 or 10 conference games.
Yeah.
If we're gonna hype up all of these conferences, and it creates so many weird tiebreakers, like in the ACC and the Big Ten and the SEC right now, where it's like there's like 5 teams with all the same record. It would not in the Big Ten, but it would have been if Ohio State would have lost. But like the ACC has Duke in the conference title game.
Yeah, it's like 5 lost Duke. Like that's actually
because
crazy.
they only lost 2 conference games, which is like, they need to clean up some stuff. I actually think that they're gonna abandon conference championships in the next 2 years, 2 or 3 years. Because all the SEC teams didn't want to make the conference championship because they thought it was going to hurt them if they lost. Which I can't blame them. It probably would hurt them if they lost. But yeah, I thought Texas's claims were a little weird. I don't think that they should be in over Vanderbilt or BYU. I think both Vanderbilt and BYU, I would take them over Notre Dame and Miami.
I would do that, but I think Texas has a better resume than Miami and Notre Dame. Like
I think they have a better.
Notre Dame is not good. Like,
They have better wins, definitely, but
Yeah.
they
They have
but
the worst record though. That's the thing.
but they don't have as many bad losses. Actually, Miami kind of does. Notre Dame really doesn't. Notre
Dame doesn't have bad losses, but like they don't have
good wins.
either.
Yeah, and it's a really chaos in college football, and like we're not going to get a solid format for another 5 years. Like I think it's going to change every year, every other year.
Yeah.
But I think it is still better than the 4-team playoff. I think because now you can really just say like even to Texas, to maybe not to BYU, but you can say, okay, well you lost 2 games, like that's kind of on you. Whereas in like the 4-team playoff, you had like the Florida State year where they went 13-0. But
also the committee came out and said that they might not include Ole Miss in the playoffs. 1-loss Ole Miss because Lane Kiffin's gone.
yeah,
So,
they
their
should be
players
in.
might sit out, or their players might transfer to LSU to follow him, or like. So they said Ole Miss is just like straight up might be screwed.
Yeah, it's the coaching, the calendar for college football is really what.
Screwed.
Yeah, and they can't fix it because they have to follow the high school semesters, which is a part of it because like the signing day is today, and so you need to have like these new coaches at their schools if you can, to help with recruiting, and we'll just kind of break down slightly the coaching carousel. SEC pretty much got all their jobs hired except for Kentucky, who just fired Mark Stoops the other day. We saw Lane Kiffin go to LSU. We saw John Summerall go to Florida, but he's still going to coach out the season at Tulane, I think. I think he's the only one doing that. Alex Golish is leaving South Florida to go to Auburn, and then they're hiring Brian Hartline, as it sounds like right now. We got Ryan Silverfield from Memphis going to Arkansas. We have the North Texas coach whose name's eluding me. He goes to Oklahoma State. And then Pat Fitzgerald, the old Northwestern coach, is now going to be the Michigan State coach, which I think is a great, great hire. He has never coached an NIL, though, so might be a little adjustment period for him. But Michigan State was really, really bad. I don't see how they could do worse. Penn State is in shambles.
Penn State's got the 129th ranked recruiting class.
Yeah, and well,
they have like five. It's like 5 commits. Like that's it.
Yeah, so they were they were going hard after Kalani Sitake from BYU. He said no because BYU's his dream job. He's like, I'm not leaving.
Yeah. Also, I heard something like the Mormon Church, and then like Crumble Cookies, like the CEO of Crumble got involved. It was a whole story.
Yeah, I don't.
Penn State's fighting the Mormon Church for a head.
I did see the Crumble Cookie stuff. I don't understand it at all. Like, I don't know if the Crumble Cookie guy is a BYU supporter. Okay. But I do know that they did reach out to the church for unlimited amount of money to keep Sitake in Provo, which is a great, like, I'm very happy for BYU that they got to keep him because they are on the up and coming. Like, they're becoming a Big 12 powerhouse. And their basketball program is doing really well. They got like the number 1 recruit in the nation. So clearly the Church of Latter-day Saints has a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah.
Might show you something about the religion, but that's neither here nor there. I don't, people can do whatever they want, believe. There was I've seen a bunch of BYU people like in the last week or so. I saw some at the airport, saw some when they were here in Cincinnati. But yeah, the coaching carousel is definitely not over. Every single day I pray that Matt Campbell from Iowa State does not get poached because there's rumors that come out every day. He was rumored to Kentucky, so that'd be a downgrade from Iowa State in my opinion, but just to get dog walked in the SEC every year.
Yeah.
Some other college football kind of stuff to go over. Lane Kiffin did coach out the Egg Bowl. They did beat Mississippi State. Not a whole lot of other amazing games, really. The Iron Bowl ended up being closer than expected. Arizona beat Arizona State. And Kenny Dillingham, Arizona State coach, announced that he is going to stay. But yeah, right now all the drama in college football is all about playoff and coaches. Kind of overshadowing any of the results from the week. And like I said the last podcast, I am getting tired of Thanksgiving week football because it's just too much on too many days. But, I think that's going to wrap it up for college football.
What about your bets?
Yes, the bets. That's a great call. So I went 3-1 on the week, so I'm back to positive again. Which I needed. I am now 36-35. Got Indiana covered, Ohio State covered, Vanderbilt covered, and won outright. And then the only loser I had was A&M. But like I said, I will ride until the wheels fall off. I'll take them in the first round of the playoff. I don't care. Iowa State won, so they finished the year 8-4. So that's kind of fun. After their tragic 4-game losing streak, we somehow bounced back. But, I think that's going to wrap it up for college football. We will move into the NFL. A crazy week of NFL football. It seemed like no favorites won their games, really, besides,
crazy,
Yeah, like I know on Thanksgiving at least all the underdogs won outright, and that was true for Friday as well, and a lot of games on Sunday now that I'm thinking about it. So yeah, crazy week, which obviously means Luke and I's picks were not the best in the world. I am now sitting at 88-42. I lost 7 games, won like 8 games. I think I
I went
won.
9-7.
Yeah, I went
I got
9 and
9-9. Let me see. Yeah, I went 9 and
okay. I
7.
think I did I
I
think
think we played like
we
all the same games pretty much.
pretty much, yeah.
I'm
Uh,
74-55 on the year.
there we go. Uh, but yeah, we'll start with the Thanksgiving games. I know this is kind of old news, so we can kind of go quickly through the Thursday and Friday games, and
Yeah,
then
my freaking
maybe
best
spend.
didn't hit
Yeah,
on Thanksgiving.
the
Jameer Gibbs and
only
Jamar Chase did not score. Those are my Thanksgiving
he
specials.
had
Why
Jamar
I
Chase
don't
had
bet on Thursday games.
he had so many yards too.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, so the Lions do lose to the Packers, and I think the Lions might be hitting the panic button right about now.
I would think so too. Yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown getting hurt too was huge. He got hurt in like the first drive. It was,
Yes, and it kind of begs the question, like how crucial was Ben Johnson to that offense? Like, was he like the catalyst for it
definitely
all?
falling off. Yeah.
Because you see in that like the Bears are 9-3, they're the number one team in the NFC right now, and the Lions are currently outside the playoffs, and they've got a couple teams hot on their tail. The Cowboys, the Panthers somehow. Uh, I'm a Bryce believer though. I
Of
will
course, as soon
follow.
as I said, I remember saying a few weeks ago I was out on Bryce Young, and he just turns into Tom Brady.
I told
Drafted.
it's he's only good when they're underdogs. When they're favorites, they suck.
But yeah,
They can't
they were
win.
10.5 point underdogs.
Yeah,
I guess they gave them superpowers.
he didn't even play like the best game ever. Matt Stafford probably played his worst game of
Yeah,
his Rams career, maybe.
yeah, pick six
Uh,
last game.
but yeah, Thursday afternoon was Cowboys Chiefs. I have a lot of Cowboys fans. I think I've said this before. A lot of Cowboys. I have a lot of friends who are Cowboys fans, and so I rode the Cowboys just straight money line, and that was. I think I took a nap, woke up in the middle of the third quarter, and I had a great time. Hate watching the Chiefs.
Yeah, it was-
Love to see the Chiefs lose games and all the cope that their fan base has after they lose. But the Cowboys are for real now, I think.
I think so. Their defense looks so much better than it did earlier in the season, for obvious reasons. The trades and the people coming back from injury. Yeah, I think they're legit. I think they
They're
have
kind.
a chance to make a. They might be sneaking up on the Eagles in that division because the Eagles have lost 2 straight now.
Yeah, the fortunate thing for the Eagles though is they have a very favorable end of the schedule. I think they still have the Commanders twice.
They also got out to a big lead. They still have like a 3-game cushion. So
Yeah, they do have a little bit of a cushion, but the Cowboys. I know the Cowboys fans were all a little upset because like the 4 teams that they needed to lose on Sunday all won. I think it was like 49ers, Panthers, Bucks, and can't remember who the fourth one is. The Seahawks. But the Seahawks were never going to lose that game. But anyway, yeah, Cowboys are becoming very, very serious, and I think it's time for the Chiefs to blow it up. They got to make some changes. Their team is aging out. They don't have a receiver who's a deep ball threat, who is not like 5'10".
yeah,
Travis Kelce somehow is still like their big man target, which is a little
that's
sad.
good. He's like
He's still good though. Like he still makes. I think he passed Tony Gonzalez, or he passed. He now has like the most touchdowns. He has the
Yeah,
most
I heard
touchdowns now in
that.
Chiefs history, which is cool. I actually like Travis Kelce, even though I'm a Chiefs hater. But he went to Cincinnati, so I'll give him some leeway. Trying to
I've
think.
heard some rumors it might be time for Andy Reid to retire. I think Matt Nagy is still the main problem.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about him though. I don't know how.
Yeah. I know that they're starting to think that Andy Reid is the problem, but I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to push out a coach who's won you 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah, like recently, yeah. Like
Yes.
super recently. It's like
Yeah,
Mike
who's
Tomlin who won a Super Bowl like 20 years ago.
who's made 7 AFC championships in a row.
Yeah.
And as much as you can say that that's all Mahomes, but coach has to do something. So
Yeah.
they're in a tough spot because I don't know how you can like logically be like, oh yeah, we're gonna fire Andy Reid and we're gonna find someone better. But they've got to do something because the ship is going down, and the Chargers don't. Chargers are in some problems, but the Chargers' problems seem a lot more fixable than the Chiefs. But Thursday night,
Got too many injuries.
Ravens Bengals. I did not watch much of this game. I was shocked that Joe Burrow played, but he actually played very well. And
their defense played well. That's the main
yeah,
story.
mathematically,
does Joe Burrow coming back matter because Joe Burrow doesn't play defense? I think maybe Joe Burrow does play defense. Actually,
I think maybe him
Joe Burrow does play defense.
Maybe him just being out there just gave the guys a little more confidence in themselves. But I was shocked that Joe Burrow started that game and played the whole game. They do pick up a big win. The AFC North sucks. It's not fun to watch football in the AFC North. It's sad that
it is still mathematically possible for Browns Bengals Week 18 to be for the division, which is insane because the Browns are 3-9.
I was about to mention that none of the teams are mathematically eliminated from winning the division, which is
that's awful. The Browns should not be there.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure. But yeah, Friday. We'll move on. Friday, Eagles Bears. Bears pick up the biggest win of their season, probably the biggest win that they've had in a few years. They just ran the ball all over the Eagles. Had 2 running backs rush for over 120 yards. That was the first time in franchise history. They've got a stud offense. I really like their offense. If they can just get a little more consistency out of Caleb Williams, then I think they're live to win the Super Bowl. Their defense is playing pretty well.
They got a couple guys coming back from injury too.
Yeah, they started the year. Yeah, they started the year with like no defensive backs, and then they got
they have no linebackers.
Yeah, they got C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So now they actually have a lot of depth at corner, and I think they're getting some of the linebackers back. So they should be okay. But they do have a tough rest of the schedule. I know they've got Packers this upcoming weekend, so that'll be a huge. Yeah, and they got like 49ers. I know they play the Browns.
Yeah, the defense is going to hurt to play against, but they're probably going to win.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the story of the Browns this season.
A little bit, yeah. But yeah, we'll move on to Sunday. Go over these games a little more. Starting out, do you want to start out with your team on Sunday?
Yeah, so I think we rode the win over the Raiders a little too hard. I kind of saw this coming, like it was just the Raiders. It's nice. I'm rooting for the Browns to win every game. Obviously, it's fun to win, especially when you don't do it very often. But it was just the Raiders, and I think that the 49ers are obviously a much better team. They're much better coached. Shador didn't play awful, but he didn't play good enough to win. Our defense, the score's a little bit of a lie. Our defense played pretty well, and they got like a score in garbage time or something. Myles Garrett got another sack to put him at 19 on the year, getting closer to that record, which I think he's going to get at least close this week. So we're playing the Titans this week.
Yeah, he's good for at least 2.
He's going to get
Is it 21 and a half the record? So that'll
22
and a half. Okay, so but he still has 5 games to do it.
Yeah.
So I want him to do it in 16.
Yeah, I definitely want that too. I don't care if he pads the record, if he already has it in week 18, but I definitely want him to get it in 16 games.
Yeah, that way you can't have any Giants fans come out of the woodwork and be like, "Oh, well, he only got it."
Laid down for the record for Michael Strahan. So, yes, I think we just got introduced to a real team instead of playing the Raiders, and that's just the way it's going to be. See. Me and my dad were talking, and my dad really wants to draft a quarterback highly this year. This upcoming draft, I mean.
It is a good quarterback draft.
I think he just doesn't like Shador. I mean, I'd be okay with getting a quarterback, but because it's hard, because it's like if we could draft an elite lineman and then a first round wide receiver with our picks if the Jaguars can stop winning games. Um, I'd be down, and I'd be down to just like roll with Shador or Dylan Gabriel next year. And then if they're bad, we'll probably have a high enough draft pick to pick a quarterback. But then that's how you get Miles Garrett and Joe Thomas and just waste their careers because you can never actually find a quarterback. And the one time you do, you cut him for Deshaun Watson. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, I'm not the GM obviously, so it's not my decision to make. But yeah.
Yeah, I have a funny story real quickly. I was in an Uber on Wednesday night. It was a long, like a 30-minute Uber. And I get into this guy's Uber, and he's got like a Cleveland Browns podcast on from some guy. I don't know who it was, but it wasn't like official from like the team. It was like a fan, obviously, doing like a podcast. And so I, just because it's a 30-minute Uber, I'm like, I got to talk to this guy. Otherwise, it's going to be such a boring drive.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, are you a big Browns fan? He's like, yeah, I kind of am. I used to be a really big Browns fan, and then, the team's just being so bad, like, made me not like them. But I really like Shador, so I'm really invested this year. And so then I acted like I was the world's biggest Shador fan for about 30 minutes, and but we were talking, and it started to convince myself that like I actually do think that Shador is like I don't know who it. Maybe it's Stefanski, but like he was done dirty by the Browns.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Stefanski hates him. He still hates him. He never wanted him.
Yeah. Sorry, I might move my laptop. I'm trying to get comfortable. But yeah, so I like sort of became like a big Shador fan. Yeah, I thought they had a chance to beat the 49ers, but
Yeah, Shador's big problem. He just holds the ball too long, and he just takes too many dumb sacks that are like. And what he does, he like drifts back in the pocket instead of stepping up. So all his sacks he takes are like 15 yards, which just really really suck. But he's very accurate. He's
they
got a
also
good
have like,
arm.
no wide
He's like
receivers.
he's 6 foot plus. He's actually tall.
Their
I've
wide
heard there's
receiver core is bad though. Like
yeah
they need some help.
yeah. I've heard there's some drama with Wyatt Teller, one of our linemen, but he sucks. The line sucks. Everybody but Batonio and Pokic is terrible as our center and other offensive guard. They're all terrible. So that it just needs a massive rehaul. Like a lot of the offense just needs completely rehauled.
Yeah, I mean the good thing for the Browns though is that they have these draft picks, and they essentially do not need to draft a single defensive player.
No.
Like maybe a defensive back. I've heard they might take like a safety or
Martin Emerson went down with an Achilles in the preseason, so he hasn't played all year. So if he bounces back, we'll be okay. But we might just like with our late picks, just take flyers on people or like sign some undrafted free agents. But our top picks definitely need to all be offense.
Yeah, I would say the first pick needs to be best available offensive lineman. The second pick is best available wide receiver.
That's exactly what I would do. Yeah.
I think the quarterback draft is so deep that you could get a decent quarterback in the second or third round. Because there's like 10 quarterbacks coming out that like probably only 2 or 3 of them are going to be good, and I have no idea which 2 or 3 it's going to be. Like I know right now it's Dante Moore and Fernando Mendoza are like the 2 highest like mock drafted quarterbacks. But I mean, even then, it's like you don't know. Quarterbacks nowadays are so hit and miss. I feel like, I think you could like. I don't think Lenoris Sellers is coming out anymore, but if he was, he'd be a steal in the 5th round. But I think he plans on staying at South Carolina for another year for God knows why.
Who would want to stay at South Carolina?
I don't know. I honestly, that's a great question. I couldn't tell you. But yeah, we'll move on to the next game. Jaguars Titans. We don't need to spend much time on. Everyone knew that the Jags were going to win this game. Yeah. Finally, the Titans don't cover a spread. I saw like that stat that they somehow cover like almost every week.
I never heard about that.
But they were not able to cover this game, and the AFC South outside of the Titans is becoming very scary.
Actually competitive. Yeah, Texans are on a 4-game win streak. The Colts are falling off a little bit.
I think the Colts are bad.
Yeah.
We can get into that game next. Jacksonville won. Congratulations, Jaguars. Texans, Colts. Texans, yeah, pick up a huge win. I don't think the Colts are that good. I looked
I
at
think they've been
their
figured out. I think people
I
have figured them out.
I looked at their schedule the other day, and the only two wins that they have over teams currently in the playoffs are the Chargers and the Broncos. In the Broncos game,
That was
they
like
were
this close because it was
they
like a
were
Memphis
essentially
penalty.
yeah, they
Yeah,
were essentially handed the Broncos game, and then the Chargers uh
the
that was
Chargers
a
aren't
week where
good.
Joe Alt was injured.
Yeah.
His first injury, and Jonathan Taylor had like a career day. He had 3 touchdowns that
Yeah.
day. So,
So
uh,
Daniel Jones is playing on like a hairline fracture in his fibula, so that's probably hindering him. But I think people have figured out if you can just hold down Jonathan Taylor, you're good to go. It's
make
like
Daniel
all their
Jones play
losses.
quarterback.
Yeah.
It's like
So I
what
think I
that
think they're just found out a little bit.
Yeah, and the rest of their schedule is tough too. I mean, they have Jaguars, Seahawks, both on the road. Then they have home against 49ers and Jaguars, and then on the road against Houston. So there's still 3 divisional games. If they lose all 3, they're probably not making the playoffs.
Yeah, they might be. We were talking about them as one of the best teams in the league, and now they might not even make the playoffs. It's crazy.
And they gave up a lot of capital for Sauce
Gardner,
Gardner. So they, which I still get. Like it still makes sense to me. Like
yeah,
if your team starts like the year 8-2, you have to invest
yeah.
into it.
I invested
Uh,
at the deadline. For sure.
but the Texans defense, man, is scary. If they can just get C.J. Stroud to play decent football, and they can get these Iowa State receivers and Nico Collins to just be competent,
Yeah.
and they
If
essentially
their
are like the
offensive line
same.
can have a pulse, yeah.
Yeah, their offensive line is the real like back and forth. They're essentially the Broncos, but replace like the Broncos have no wide receiver talent with the Texans not having O line talent.
Yeah.
But otherwise, they're basically the same team. Uh, both of them are top 3 defenses. So yeah, I mean the Texans. I think they might go on a run. I would not be shocked if Texans Jaguars made the playoffs and the Colts didn't.
I can
Um,
definitely see that happening.
yeah, it should be interesting to see how it shakes out. Next 2 games, couple stinkers. Dolphins beat the Saints. Um,
We had a pick two in that game. That was exciting, I guess.
there was a pick 2 in that game.
It was like the last play because so yeah, it was 19-17. The Saints had just scored and they were going for 2 to tie, and then Minka Fitzpatrick pick 2'd them to win
My,
21-17.
that's crazy. I didn't even realize that.
That was like the only
That's
play of that game I actually saw. The pick two.
wow. They kicked a lot of field goals.
Yeah,
The Dolphins. Wow.
yeah, that game
Yeah,
was not very good, but
yeah, that sounds like that's a game I'm glad I did not watch. And then yeah, Falcons, Jets. The Jets win games when they're not supposed to.
yeah,
Uh,
they're now above the Browns in the draft order. They have 6 and we have 5, so keep on
yeah,
winning.
I know the teams below are very fortunate and happy that the Texans or the Jets are somehow winning games post trading their 2 best defensive players, which is outrageous. That's how
insane.
bad the Falcons are, that they
Yeah,
can't put up 20 points on that defense.
Raheem Morris has to be gone
Has to.
after this year. I don't see any. I think
I
they've
know
already
that they.
fired. I think they fired somebody. They fired their offensive coordinator, I think.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I know everyone likes their defensive coordinator, so they'll probably keep
But
him
yeah,
around.
Jeff Ulbrich. Yeah, I think he's pretty good.
Yeah. And I don't think Penix is a long-term solution. He obviously gets hurt every year.
He just got hurt again. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel bad for Bijan because he's going to get his career wasted in Atlanta. Same with Drake London. They need to be on the Chris Olave and Alvin Kamara fast track trade season this
Yeah.
upcoming offseason, which they could probably get a lot of capital. And the Falcons are just so screwed; they don't even have their first round draft pick.
But yeah. The Rams are gonna have a top 10 pick, which is insane to think about.
Yeah, it's the Falcons. Uh, their fan base should be like more pissed off than any other fan base in the whole NFL.
Yeah, they're
I
probably
would
the worst
say
situation right now, like in the league.
they're like the New Orleans Pelicans of the uh, of the NBA over of the NFL because the Pelicans are awful and they don't have their first round pick because they gave it to the Hawks. Um, but yeah, so moving on, Rams Panthers. We've mentioned it a little bit already, but Bryce Young pulling out a huge win over Matthew Stafford. There was a very funny stat that happened after the first touchdown pass that Stafford threw to Devontae Adams, who Devontae Adams scores like 100 touchdowns a game, it seems like.
Yeah.
He had like the NFL record for the most consecutive touchdown passes without interceptions thrown, and then proceeded to throw 2 interceptions right after that happened.
For a touchdown, yeah. By Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson scored a pick 6.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike Jackson. Definitely a bad game for Stafford. Bryce Young did enough. 15 for 20, 3 touchdowns, 206 passing yards. And these Panthers receivers are kind of exciting a little bit.
So, yeah, that was the main story that I saw, is that the Leggett starting to come around.
Yeah, Leggett, Coker, and Tedero McMillan.
McMillan's looked good all year.
Yeah, he's looked. Game for him. I don't know. The Panthers are not like, they just don't have a good defense, but they could they could make some good moves, and they're also tied for their division. They don't have the tiebreaker because they lost the first game against the Bucks.
Yeah, they have to play again now.
The fact that they're even 7-6.
I think the Panthers' defense is coached very well. They just don't have a lot of talent. It's like their defensive coordinator is Giro Evero. I think he used to coach the Broncos' defense when they had Russell Wilson, and they were like really good, and then their offense was terrible. I always liked him, so I think he's a good defensive coach. They just need some talent. J.C. Horn looks really good. They drafted him the same year that Surtain got drafted, and people were wondering why they picked Horn over Surtain. But yeah, he's looked good. Like Michael Jackson got a pick 6. Panthers, yeah, it's very, very unexpected from them, but they're looking good.
Yeah, we will move on to the Cardinals and Bucks. Bucks pick up the win there.
Bucky Irving return game for the touchdown.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Baker Mayfield played, considering that he was in a sling earlier in the week. But
that's what he did with Cleveland. That's what got him kicked out of Cleveland. He wouldn't sit with a shoulder injury. So, but he's winning this time.
But yeah, the Bucks really needed that win. The wheels were falling off the bus, and that kind of keeps them on for a minute. Tristan Wirfs got a touchdown pass, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
They already had a graphic ready for it, which I don't know how that's possible. But shout out to whoever that is from, I think it was CBS, whoever had that graphic ready to go. Shout out to you for just knowing that he was going to get one. Or Fox. But yeah, I don't really have a whole lot on this game. I didn't really pay attention to it.
The Cardinals are just not good, and they're
the most boring franchise of the last 10 years. I don't know what they've been in this Kyler Murray charade for almost 10 years now, it seems like.
I'm not sure what the plan is in Arizona.
Another team that has no plan, we move over to the Vikings against the Seahawks. The Vikings are so screwed. They played Max Brosner.
I heard he might get cut after one game because of how bad it was.
It was bad. He threw 4 picks. And I think Justin Jefferson only had 8 receiving yards or something.
He had 1 catch for something, yeah.
2 catches for 4 yards.
Ah, wow, that's really bad.
Oh, he had 8 yards and then caught another pass and lost 4. Yeah, caught another pass, lost 4 yards. Nice. They're in trouble.
Yeah, that's bad.
Seahawks are good though. Being able to score 26 points on that defense is something at least. That the Vikings defense has given a lot of teams trouble this year, so that's something to look forward to. Obviously, the Seahawks, JSN just continues to ball out.
He probably threw away his record though. He only had 23 yards.
Yeah. Yeah, they really just focused on they didn't really play a lot of offense. They were getting the ball in such good field position.
But yeah, it was the game was already in hand by the time the offense was on the field, so like they didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, he only had 23 yards. So yeah, he probably did throw out his chance at breaking the record. He's still going to
He's
lead
still
the
gonna have
NFL.
the
Him or
shit ton of
Pickens
yards
is still going to win the receiving yard contest.
for sure.
Pickens is kind of catching up though, crazy enough. And I did not mention it in the Chiefs Cowboys breakdown, but I think George Pickens is better than CeeDee Lamb.
I mean, statistically at least, yeah, George Pickens is going off.
I think this is shows how bad the Steelers quarterbacks have been the last like 3 years.
Hmm.
That as soon as he gets like a competent quarterback, he just balls out.
Yeah,
He's like, and he's like one of the most fun players to watch too. But anyway, yeah, Seahawks get a big win that they obviously needed to get, especially with the Rams losing, helps them a lot. And moving on, I can't see. Why is my phone doing? Raiders Chargers. Um,
it's just
the
the Raiders
Raiders.
are just bad. They're just bad.
Yeah, they're real bad. I don't really want to spend much time on this. The Raiders are god awful. Um, they need to blow it all up. Trade Max Crosby for picks, and then
Trade,
I would
yeah,
keep Brock Bowers just because tight ends are not super valuable. Unless they want to trade him to the Broncos, I'd take him. I'd welcome him with open arms. Um,
yeah. I just don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with their coaching. They already fired Chip Kelly. I don't know if you only give Pete Carroll 1 year. I don't even know why he was hired in the first place.
he's so old.
Yeah,
Like he's the oldest coach in NFL history,
I
oldest
think
head
so.
coach.
Yeah, I think he passed
Uh,
Belichick. Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted the Raiders to win because I want the Broncos to just clinch the division as early as possible. Um, I'm still confident that the Broncos will do that, but not as soon. Uh, Bills Steelers. Aaron Rodgers almost got killed in this game, like literally almost died. Uh, he he needs to do another ayahuasca retreat. He got to get out. Got to get out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I don't.
This
The
is probably
AFC,
the better game in Pittsburgh.
yeah, the AFC North is so like messed up right now that I genuinely have no idea who's gonna win it. Like
Might be the
I
Bengals.
want I want to say the Ravens, but they just
That's
lost to the
probably the safest
Bengals.
bet, but like, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, Bills pick up a big win. Yeah, I mean it's the Steelers. They are seemingly going to be destined for 8-9 or 9-8 is how it's kind of shaping out. Uh,
I wonder if Mike Tomlin is gone if they don't have the winning record because there's fire Mike Tomlin chance at that game.
I think it's probably time to go. I think
Yeah.
you thank him for his years of service. Thank you for the Super Bowl. Actually, two Super Bowls, right? No,
No,
they made two under him, but they won one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I mean it's time for him to go. Sunday Night Football, Broncos Commanders. This game scared the hell out of me. I was I was like not nervous until like the very end of the game, and then I thought after Bo Nix threw that pick to Bobby Wagner, who can't move, um, I was I was very nervous. The one thing I keep telling myself though to like ground myself is that this is not the Broncos. Obviously, they'll tell themselves that they want to win a Super Bowl this year because why can't they? Like they're tied for first in the AFC. But I'm telling myself that it's not their year. They get the 35 mil off the books after the end of this year for Russ, and then you just go out in the offseason and you buy every wide receiver possible.
To say all your draft picks on wide receivers.
Yeah, get a tight end, get a or not, yeah, get a tight end, get some wide receivers, get another running back to pair with Harvey, who I actually think is pretty good, and because I think the O line's good, obviously the defense is good. We could use another defensive back. It's the big takeaway I had from this game was other than Pat Surtain, like on his man coverage against Terry. which even Terry was able to get some, like, beat him on some routes, and I was like, but it is his first game back from injury, so I'm going to give him a break. Didn't think he should have even played in the game to start with, to be honest.
Yeah.
But there were just so many, like, throws that Mariota was making, and they were like 20 yards downfield, and the guy's wide open with no one within 3 yards of him, and I'm like, what is happening? So I think the Broncos definitely should be looking at some secondary, maybe for a pick. I would say wide receivers, secondary, run, like, they don't really need a whole lot, and they have a lot of money to do it, so that's good. But we should not have needed overtime to beat the Commanders and went on a failed 2-point conversion. I will admit the Broncos were getting some favorable calls as well towards the end of the game. There was like a ghost false start for the Commanders that really shouldn't have been called. But, I mean, every team can have games where the refs screw them or think that the refs screw them. But, I'll save all the Bronco talk. Got the Raiders this weekend, so hopefully another win. Hopefully we can beat them by more than 3 points this time. That would be nice. Bo Nix, I mean, he goes from looking like the best quarterback in the world to the worst sometimes. It's bizarre. Enough of them. Monday Night Football, I was in the airport when this happened and on a flight, so I only was able to see bits and pieces of, like, the first half. And
all Patriots. Basically.
Yeah, the Giants, I don't know why they played Jackson Dart. He got
hit pretty hard.
Rocked.
Yeah.
He on that one where he should have gone out of bounds.
Yeah,
I don't know,
like
I don't know why Giants fans are, like, they were getting, like,
they started a fight and everything. Like, Jackson Dart's got to get out of bounds. He wasn't.
Yeah, it's like that is literally that is the case in point of, like, why you slide and run out of bounds. Like, that extra yard is not worth it. These are, like, grown men who, like, get off on hitting you as hard as they humanly can.
Yeah,
and
like, you gotta get out of bounds.
Like, and even Jackson Dart kind of even said that. Like, after the game in his interview, I saw he was like, "That's how I, like, play football." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, bro, like, you are not going to last in this league if you keep doing that.
Yeah.
You will be a liability. Yeah, weird. Jackson Dart needs to slide, needs to get out of bounds. There's no reason for him to. They're not making the playoffs. You know, They don't really need to win games. They're in a great situation to just draft offensive linemen, to draft a couple defensive spots. Yeah, and I mean, they've maybe a second wide receiver to go along with Malik, but they've got, like, their.
They got to figure out Abdul Carter too. He's been having some issues.
Did you see the rumor that
what he got disciplined for? Yeah,
he came out on Twitter and said that that's false. I don't know, because it's so funny now looking back that he tried to ask Lawrence Taylor for his number.
He's like 0.5 sacks on the year too. I remember I wanted him in the draft. And, no, I'm good with Mason Graham. Thanks.
You've got Mason Graham and Carson Schlesinger. You are chilling.
Abdul Carter.
I think Carson Schlesinger. I forgot to mention this. He's the best rookie in the NFL.
For sure, he has to be.
I think both sides of the ball, he's the best. I don't know an offensive rookie who's doing better than
offensive rookie of the year is a weird situation because you figured in the early season it was going to be Ibuka for the Buccaneers
or Dart,
and then
it was going to be Dart for a minute.
Yeah, and, like, everybody got hurt on the Buccaneers, so
it's definitely not going to be like
Quinshon Judkins looks good, but he doesn't have the stats. He's not going to get the stats. Yeah,
same with, like, Travion Henderson. I don't know who they're going to end up giving it to. I don't know if there are a lot of running backs, so maybe one of them, but
like GNT's not getting the stats either because he plays.
Yeah, and Hampton got hurt. Dart's really the only quarterback. Like, I could see them giving it to Jackson Dart just because they have not many other options to pick from.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of who the other, like, rookie wide receivers. Maybe Tetrell McMillan could get it. he's been solid. But the defense is like a lock, I think, for Schlesinger. He's a beast. I wish
Yeah. He had like another 10 plus tackle game versus the 49ers. So.
he gets 10 every game. I swear.
Yeah,
It's like,
he's in on every tackle. Like you look at the pile where the tackle is, and you
yeah, he
see
just
him.
flies over the
Yeah,
field. What a great pick.
yeah.
The Browns certainly know how to draft defensive players.
See,
Um,
no, that was the rumor. Now is that was that DePodesta kind of knew that he was on his way out. I guess that's just a rumor. So he, or whether he was told to, or he just let Andrew Berry draft this draft class himself instead of like telling Andrew Berry which players to draft. And this is like one of the best draft classes of the Browns' history. Mason Graham, Carson Schwarzenegger, Quinshon Judkins, Dylan Sampson, Harold Fannin, and then the two quarterbacks. So it's like if that was truly Andrew Berry's drafting by himself, that is like really good. And DePodesta was a bigger problem than we thought.
yeah, Fannon's been really good too.
Yeah,
He had a
he had a touchdown in the
yeah, he
49ers
had a
game
touchdown.
from Shador.
Yeah, and both running
Good.
backs I think are
Yeah.
going to be like career duo.
If we can get our offensive line to actually run block, yeah, because like Quinshon Judkins averages like 2.5 yards per carry, but like he can't get any holes or anything.
Yeah, that's definitely their like what they need to focus on the most.
Yeah,
I think even more so than the like wide receiver talent. They definitely need
Yeah.
a wide receiver at least, but
because Isaiah Bond has been looking pretty good with Shador, and Cedric Tillman is still good. Jerry Jeudy needs to be gone though. He's
did you see
terrible.
Jerry Jeudy was on the sideline like getting mad
Yelling
at
Will
Shador?
Sanders.
I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, you are in no right to yell at a quarterback with
Yeah,
how
he was
you
probably
play
telling him to
football.
give him the ball so he can fumble it away again. Like,
It's like that is why the Broncos let you go for free. Like
Yeah.
they didn't want any part of you.
I'm glad we got Jerry Jeudy for free because that's what he's worth. He's not worth anything.
Yeah. Um just so bizarre. I saw that clip and I was like, it's one thing for like Justin Jefferson
Yeah, if Justin
or
Jefferson's yelling at JJ McCarthy, that's 100%.
yeah, like
Yeah.
or Jamar Chase, like one of the top wide receivers, but Jerry
Jerry
Jeudy, it's like, bro, who are you?
Not even the best receiver on your own team. Like,
Yeah, it's like, if anything, I would say Shador should be yelling at you for that fumble that you gave
Yeah.
up the week before.
gosh.
Outrageous.
He's awful.
But God, Jerry Jeudy does look good running routes. I've always said that. Even though
Yeah,
he
I mean,
can't
that's
catch
like-
the ball
that's-
every time, he does look really good running routes. He looks like Cooper Kupp and Adam Thielen running routes. Speaking of Adam Thielen, he's a Steeler now.
Yeah.
That's just
Okay.
I saw that happened yesterday.
Yeah, I
They
did see
cut
that. It's just like
they cut Darius. Was it Darius
Darius
Slay?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they mutually agreed to part ways.
Yeah, they
Which-
had to get older, so it was funny. I saw someone posted a meme about like Mike Tomlin will say some like weird phrase or something, and then they'll sign a 2018 Pro Bowler, and then like 2 hours later, that's when they signed Adam Thielen.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
I
gonna
bet-
be an impact play, but
after Bobby Wagner got that pick, they might be looking at him next. Which is
Yeah.
still so sad that I saw a funny thing from a podcast that was like, maybe Bo Nix is a T-Rex and can only see movement, and because Bobby Wagner never moves, that's why he threw it to him. Because I've watched that clip back like 3 times. I don't know where the hell Bo is throwing that football to. But earlier in the game, he had like a Patrick Mahomes moment where he was like getting tackled and threw it sideways, a dot to Cortland.
yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah, it was crazy.
And then like 3 drives later, just throws the easiest interception that Bobby Wagner's ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, it's whatever. It's crazy. Yeah, quickly, I do want to get into to end the podcast. I want to do boils my milk because I have
Ooh,
one
before
that.
before that, I don't think I ever went through my bets in full.
Oh, yeah, go for
I
it,
talked
yep.
about 'em.
Yep.
I also post them on my Instagram story as they happen. So I usually don't bet on Thursdays, and this is exactly why, because Jameer Gibbs and Jamar Chase did not score, while like Andre Yoshivash scored, and Jameson Williams scored, but that's whatever. So those are my 2 losses. However, I knew I could bet on Tennessee being terrible because I had Jacksonville over 2.5 team touchdowns and to cover minus 6.5. Both happened, and Drake May did have over 250 passing yards. It's weird. He's had over 250 passing yards for 6 straight games now.
Has
but
never
he
hit
has not
300.
broken 300. So that's his winner. Is over 250, less than 300. That's where he's gonna be.
That's
yep.
where he lives.
Yep, 3-2. That brings me up to 8-8. So I am 500 on my bets after starting off 1-4.
Yeah, I that Jaguars bet was a lock.
Yeah.
That was a good bet.
Just bet against the Titans every week. I might have some Browns bets coming for you. All right, yeah. So that was all 3-2 up to 8-8. I'll have some more this week. I should probably start looking at that. It's already Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll record tomorrow, I'm guessing, and have one out Saturday. To have the podcast out Saturday morning. But yeah, getting into Boils My Milk, I've got one that has been bothering me. Essentially since even I think before we recorded last podcast, it was bothering me, but I had to wait for this episode. And that is the Players Era college basketball tournament that Iowa State played in, which had the absolute worst format I've ever seen for a college, for any tournament really. Having 16 teams play, right?
Okay.
And then they each play 2 games, and then you decide the championship game by point differential, is the second thing after win loss. So 5 teams went 2-0. Iowa State was one of them, but Iowa State had the lowest point differential of the 5. So the championship game was Tennessee versus Kansas, and Iowa State ended up playing Syracuse, and they won that game by 40. And it was like, why did Iowa State even go to this tournament? We won our games like we were supposed to, and then we just get rewarded. I would have, a part of me is would we have beaten Gonzaga or Michigan, who were they were the third place game? I was like, would we have beaten one of them? Probably not, because our starting point guard was out. Mm-hmm. But I at least would have liked to have had the opportunity to play a better team. Not that Syracuse is bad. They actually just beat Tennessee last night, funny enough. So it was so bad. And they want to expand it to 32 teams next year. And I'm like, how is that even going to work? And there was no one at these games either. They were in Vegas, and there was 200, 500 people at the games. It was dead. I miss the Maui, the Atlantis, where it's a high school gym and there's 500 people, but it's packed. It looks like it's packed. That's how it should be. Obviously, the teams are just going to do whatever gets them the most money, which this tournament gives them.
Yeah.
So I do understand that it is a money. It's not a competition thing. It's a money thing. It's always a money thing in college. But I mean, yeah, they need to fix it. Multiple sports media outlets were all just apologizing to Iowa State for you guys did all you needed to, but here you are in a 5th place consolation game against Syracuse for no reason. But yeah, the Iowa State Cyclones back in action tonight against Alcorn State. Gonna beat the hell out of them. Then we got Purdue on Saturday. Probably gonna lose, but that's whatever. We can lose one game. So yeah, what that is my Boils My Milk is stupid college basketball tournament that ruined the Maui. I will throw it over to yours.
All right. Well, I was just thinking, because I wasn't thinking about it earlier, but I'm going to talk about the Seattle Seahawks. So this is in the league. Like I said, I'm in 3 fantasy football leagues, but the league with my family is probably my best team. In that league, I was the number 2 team at 8-4, and I have both Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba, and they've been absolutely carrying my team, except for this week. So I'm playing my dad, who was 4th place out of 8, and my aunt, whose team is super fraudulent because she is, I believe she's still last. She's bottom 3 in points against. So everybody does and I beat her 2 times in the regular fantasy season. I was 2 of her 3 losses. So my aunt was 9-3, I'm 8-4, and my dad was 7-5 at fourth, and there's another 7-5 team in there. Um, so I'm like, okay, well, and I already clinched a playoff spot. So that was that. But I was like, I really want to win this game because if I win and my aunt loses, I would jump to first since I beat her 2 times. And I don't know if that really does anything for a 4-team fantasy playoff format, but I just want to do it anyway. Until Max Brosmer happens, and Sam Darnold gets like 3 points, and JSN gets like 4 because they didn't have to do anything. So they combined for like 7 points. While of course my dad, who I was playing, has the Seahawks defense, who gets 30 points. So I lost that game pretty handily. I think I saw the report and like my team scored like I was projected to score like 160 points and I scored like 115. So I obviously lost. And my dad having the Seahawks defense was even worse because I saw the first pick six where Brosmer just chucks a prayer.
That was so bad.
And as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to lose. So, and my aunt did lose to like one of the worst teams in our league this week too. So if I had won, I would have been first, but no, Seattle happened. So, and that was on a week when I also have Bijan. Bijan got 30. I have James Cook. James Cook got almost 30. Yeah, but also I did make some mistakes because I sat Jordan Love and Christian Watson, and I started Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown over them, so that was a mistake on my part.
My team is over.
So the Seahawks just played a dumb game, not even a bad game because they shut out an opponent and won by 26 points. They just did it in the worst way imaginable for my fantasy team, so thank you, Seattle.
Yeah. I think I don't even know. My fantasy team is so cooked. Injuries have riddled my team. I didn't play Burrow either. I had him back. I played Darnold anyway.
Oh yeah.
So I'm right there with you. I did have Jamar Chase though. He had a good game, sort of. I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, my team is mega fried. It doesn't even matter anymore. I don't even know if I can make the playoffs. I haven't even checked if I won or lost.
The playoffs start either this week or next, depending on
our start this week. I'm pretty sure I missed it, so whatever. The league I'm in is only for like $20, so it wasn't that. Everyone in our league group chat though wanted to like one per like there's like a bunch of teams like that are like I think it's an 8-man league, so the gap from like all the teams in like 7 to 3rd, which I'm in that group, all were within like 1 or 2 games, and then like the 2 dudes at the top of the league are just murdering everyone. Yeah. And so a guy put in our league chat, he's like we should just redraft starting from right now. And I was so on board. I'm like, let's get it going. Like
just redraft.
I think it's just because like the guy who's in first is like it's my coworker's friend group, and I don't know any of the guys in the league minus my coworker, my old coworker, and so I think the guy who's in first is like this guy who like they all like make fun of the most in their friend group. So they're all just like pissed off that he's in first. But I was like, I don't care. I was like, let's redraft.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I don't even want to check my fantasy team right now. I was about to, and I'm like, don't even want to.
Don't even want to.
I probably should though. But yeah, that is going to do it for episode number 16 of the Helmet to Helmet podcast. Please like and subscribe. Coaching carousel is not over. Brian Kelly could still be your head coach.
Still out there.
And if you're an Ole Miss fan, I'm sorry for the drama that you had to endure the last like 72 hours or so, however longer than that, since Saturday basically. And if you're an Iowa Hawkeye fan, but that is going to do it for us. Take care, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.